What's up? Welcome to my channel, Inkin, Thinkin Reactions. I'm a new content creator. Survive with me as I take you on the creepy, paranormal, and crazy spiritual quests. I'm the owner of a tattoo studio here in Kansas. So if you like what you hear and love what you see, please show love by hitting the like and subscribe button. And make sure you smash the notification button so you can get all our newest, latest content that we drop. Now check it out. Here we go.
Did you know that Mexican cartels are using witchcraft to fight against the police? And it's actually working. 350 police officers were just trained on how to fight back against witchcraft, voodoo, and demonic possessions. This all started when Robert Almonte got a warrant to go into a house selling drugs. Once they got there, they found a woman had put Robert's and his partner's names on voodoo dolls. The woman was a witch or a bruja, and unfortunately for the detectives, their luck got worse and worse as weeks went by, until they actually went to a church and got blessed by a priest. A few years ago, officers found a beheaded man in an apartment by himself. He was surrounded by candles and a Ouija board. Cops have seen a tick in witchcraft in the last few years. The difference now is that witchcraft is being targeted to certain police officers.
Stuff like that, when you're a police officer and you got to deal with that and you see that, I'm the type where I let my partner go in there and then, you know, him tell me what he needs and I'll be out there and I don't know, but then again, I got God with me, so most likely I'll go inside there and help him out.
According to these gentlemen, what they're seeing are 7-foot-tall entities that are arrayed in silver armored bodysuits. The gentleman makes reference to the Green Goblin from Spider-Man. Sometimes they're saying also that they're dressed in cloaks with hoods. These entities apparently have discs on the bottom of their shoes that project a red light and that enable them to float off the ground, and they can also lift off into the air. When the villagers fire at these entities, the entities are apparently bulletproof, and they just disappear or they float off into the jungle. That's what they're saying. And the way that they're describing these entities disappearing is reminiscent of the Predator from the movie.
Man, that's crazy. Hey, Peru, I've been hearing a lot of crazy stuff about Peru. There was one that there was like a portal, secret portal out there in Peru. I don't remember. It's been a while back ago, but I gotta look into that video and drop it. Come up. Yeah, that's a good one right there. But Peru, aliens, that's something else. I don't know. I heard they're over there ripping off faces. They got the whole village over there just scared. Dragons.
How come nobody's talking about the dragons that these scientists created? This was in Beijing. They were genetically cloned and brought back by scientists. You see, early last year, they had found a dragon corpse. It was in the Taimoshan Mountains. It had been there frozen for over 10,000 years, bro, and still had preserved scales, claws, and skin. Now it's clear they wanted to start cloning fast.
They better leave that
already
alone.
This year, the researchers have gone straight to work. They took the DNA they found on the dragon and combining it with lizards alive today, like leopard geckos, bearded dragons, and Komodo dragons. This is creating whole new species of dragons with wings and all. But this is where things get scary. But before I continue, don't these things look cute as heck? Like, don't you just want one as a pet? Say if you snuck in the lab and stole one, and then you were caught and they put you in jail. Your third act has to sneak in and come break you out. Who is it? Let me know. But let me know if you're doomed or not. But back to the scary part. All of this was found out because it was leaked in an email a hacker intercepted that was being sent to the government. In the email, it reports that one of the dragons that was spliced with a Komodo dragon had developed a toxic venom. And when it bit one of the scientists, he started to go rabid in a zombie-like state, trying to bite other scientists and pass on the venom. Luckily, none were bitten, but they're holding the scientists in a locked, safe room. Could this be how the zombie outbreak happens?
That could be how it happens, but you definitely would want them on your side, but I don't think they will. So they don't think like us humans, but to have them with wings, that's dangerous. Actually, to even clone them and mess with them, leave that alone, you know. Scientists, sometimes you guys just need to know when you guys just need a limit and quit going overboard with stuff. Leave those animals alone. They're dead for a reason.
It is so scary to imagine losing the privacy. Every transaction is in public eye or observable.
Like one day in the future, everything will be traceable.
In the Book of Revelation, it's too similar to exactly what it says. You won't be able to trade, you won't be able to do anything. unless you have the mark.
Then I saw another beast rising out of the earth. It had 2 horns like a lamb, and it spoke like a dragon. It exercises all the authority of the first beast in its presence, and makes the earth and its inhabitants worship the first beast. It performs great signs, even making fire come down from the heaven to earth in front of people. Beast, it deceives those who dwell on earth, telling them to make an image for the beast that was wounded by the sword and yet lived. Caused those who would not worship the image of the beast to be slain. It also causes all, both small and great, both rich and poor, both free and slave, to be marked on the right hand or the forehead, so that no one can buy or sell unless he has the mark. His number is 666.
Yeah, that's true. Everything he's talking about. I mean, I believe it. That's all I gotta say, man. Are you ready?
The McDonald's Corporation just had an ad come out a few months ago. They're looking into research and development in a technology that will afford them the ability to pump their commercials into your brain while you're sleeping. You think that they figured this out or some other company figured it out first? You think if they're going to have this available to them next year, you think that there weren't agencies that have been wielding this for a decade or so?
Can I read about this?
It's immediately available on the internet that McDonald's put this out there. Now imagine, if they can do that next year, who's been doing it for the last decade or so? McDonald's Corporation is looking into putting commercials into our brains while we're sleeping.
We can look that up.
Absolutely. For faster than light communications, quantum entangled communications at great distance. Late 80s or early 90s, Gary McKinnon hacked NASA, and he found the list of the off-world space fleet and the captains of the ships respectively. We have a fleet out there. If we have a fleet out there, we need to communicate with them. This is that facility. Take 2 particles, quantum entangle them, and then take those 2 particles and move them at any distance in the cosmos. And let's just say, for example, if you quantum entangle 2 electrons and you have them spinning in the same direction, and then you take one of those electrons and you shoot that thing out 100,000 light years from the original. If you then rotate the spin on the one electron, if you modify it so that its spin changes, the quantum entangled electron at any distance will simultaneously, in no time, switch its rotation also because they're quantum entangled.
I think they just need to leave us alone. That's some scary stuff. Let's hope that don't happen, though.
Walmart parasite candy. How can this happen?
What is this? Ugh. Is that for real? Maggots?
Please be careful buying the Reese's. This is just...
I just bought some too. Why didn't it look like that?
And I'll open a few of them just so you guys can see that it's not us that did this grossly. Look.
She wants some free candy, huh? No, I'm just kidding.
Walmart.
Wow. Oh, she even went up to Walmart. Wow.
So people beware. Reese's.
I want an update on this video. This is something I really want to know about. Like, what happened? Did Walmart refund her? What did Walmart say? That's disgusting. I don't know what state she's in, but we here in Kansas, we don't get none of that. I mean, we did it. We bought some like a week ago for the kids and us, but damn, that's a trip.
I made an app that makes it look like you're live streaming with tens of thousands of people watching and see how people might treat you differently when they think you're famous. The app uses artificial intelligence to generate comments based on whatever the camera sees and hears.
You guys, do you think she's cute, guys? Yes, they think you're cute, definitely.
Word got out that I was famous, and people started filming me. This made the first girl mad and started grabbing on me. Even with a girl on me, people still kept coming up to me, asking if they could be in my live stream. This was insane. I then went to a club where the manager saw how many viewers I had on a live stream and invited me to the VIP section. I set my live to 42,000 viewers, and like a wild Charizard, this rare beauty appeared. We then started turning up on the dance floor. I felt like I was in a movie.
You already know. There's that app. Do your thing.
The engineer at Google who resigned in fear, he thought that the things were decades down the road, were actually weeks down the road. And he regretted working on it for the last 10 years because of the acceleration of AI to teach itself better methods of how to learn faster. So we're talking about exponential intelligence growth on pattern analysis and ability delivery. And the danger is the manipulation of the human mind through AI. We got to stop that. We can't have an AI controlling humans. We need AI to serve humans.
He said it. We need AI to serve humans, not to control humans. He was right.
The European Parliament building, there are 679 seats in that global gathering chamber. And one seat no one has ever sat in yet. It is being saved for I wonder who. Because, wait for it, the number of the seat that has yet to be occupied of the 679 seats is seat number 666.
I mean, they're waiting. How many of you heard the announcement some time ago when Prince Charles, and he gave a speech, and in that speech he went on and he said,
with trillions at his disposal.
Speaking specifically of an individual who they know is going to fill that number 666.
One verse has mesmerized more modern readers than any other.
For it is the number of a man, and his number is 666.
Since the time of the Roman Empire, there has been no world, no governing nation or empire that has ever been able to attain global dominance. Napoleon tried, Hitler tried, Stalin tried. They all failed. There will be a short period of time, however, when one man will succeed.
You know, for the longest, they were saying Obama was going to be the Antichrist. Like, for the longest. That's all I heard. He's not president no more. Like, debunked. So, I guess we'll have to wait and find out. Hopefully I'm not here when that happens.
Isn't it true that leading up to the 2020 election, Twitter had weekly meetings with not just the FBI, with DOJ, with DHS, with DNI, to conduct this unconstitutional censorship by surrogate? We know that because of the Twitter files, correct?
Correct.
Wow. And it was not just meetings, not just censorship of stories like the Hunter Biden laptop story. We also now know that the FBI paid Twitter over $3.4 million of taxpayer funds to censor these stories before the 2020 election. Is that correct?
That money was paid. Twitter confirmed that.
Isn't it true, according to the Twitter files, that there were so many FBI officials who then went to work at Twitter that created their own Slack channel and crib sheet for onboarding? The Twitter files confirm that, correct?
Correct.
This is the definition of election meddling, and it's the definition of election meddling by the FBI on behalf of Democrats, paid for by the U.S. taxpayers.
Election meddling, that's what she calls it. Spank their asses for that. Oops.
New on 12, the LA Times is reporting that Mexican artist Peso Pluma canceled an upcoming show in Mexico because of threats from a drug cartel. Peso Pluma, who performed at the MTV Video Music Awards earlier this week, was supposed to perform at Fiserv Forum tonight, but that performance was postponed due to what officials are calling unforeseen circumstances. Now, according to the Times, Peso Pluma has several songs praising the founder of the Sinaloa drug cartel. Recently, a rival cartel put up 4 large banners in Tijuana, warning the artist that his concert there next month would be his last if he didn't cancel. Now, for his show here in Milwaukee at Fiserv Forum, no new date has been announced, but all tickets will be honored when Peso Pluma eventually performs.
One thing I gotta let you guys know. If you're messing around with music and you got talent, you don't need to bring none of that stuff up. Leave that stuff behind. That's for them to do. You do what you got to do, stay in your lane, and you'll be fine, you know? But it is what it is. Now, we'll see what happens.
It's a CIA document. We have people in every major news organization. It says it flat out. That are there to control, stop, alter stories at our request. Damn.
Giants?
Oh, but we may actually have, my friend. We may already have.
That looks official.
Let's take a second to get a few people mad out there with these photos of excavated giant bones found all over the world. But why would they be mad? Oh, it's because these are fake. That's
Come
right.
on, man.
Every one of these photos of giant bones have been deemed fake, but I'm gonna show you the real ones. Photos like this are claimed to have been part of an archaeology Photoshop contest back in the day, but were they just part of a cover-up? Let's start off easy. These 6.5-foot femur bones are confirmed real and weigh around 1,100 pounds. But they were of course labeled as dinosaur bones, belonging to a species called sauropods. Real convenient being able to just slap a dinosaur label on any potential giant remains we ever find, huh? A lot of people will say, it's only one bone, where's the rest of the giant then? Oh yeah? Where's the rest of the dinosaur, motherfucker? But you know what? They might actually be dinosaur bones, so let's not jump to conclusions yet. Like this two-headed mummy discovered off the coast of Argentina in the 1600s, measuring 12 feet tall and currently on display in a museum, confirmed by many physicians to be real. Now there's this. A giant skeleton over 23 feet tall, uncovered in Ecuador and 100% confirmed real, which was later dismissed as an ancient sloth? Like, come on, they're just making shit up at this point. Another photo from Ecuador. Kinda blurry, I know, but almost no evidence pointing to it being faked. Here's a giant footprint fossil in South Africa, 4 feet long and estimated to have belonged to a being 24 to 27 feet tall. And finally, there's this. A much more human-looking femur bone, and not as thick as the others. Dug up in the Euphrates Valley in Turkey, measuring 47 inches and estimated to have belonged to a giant over 20 feet tall. All confirmed real, and giant excavations like these used to get widely reported in newspapers all the time back in the late 18 to mid-1900s, but now they're always quick to sweep these under the rug for some reason. With the Smithsonian, the world's leading museum and research education institution created by the US government, accused of covering up all giant findings and instead putting the spotlight on how fake the fakes are. Like they did with the San Diego giant in 1865, which is one of the smaller ones, inspected by dozens of scientists and featured in many newspapers. After which the Smithsonian purchased the giant for a pretty large sum, and then all of a sudden, many years later, they dismissed it as a hoax, saying that it was made from gelatin and we never see it again. Google searches of these giant excavations will obviously only bring up the fakes, pushing the most ridiculous ones to the top of the search results. The problem with finding definitive proof of these giants is the internet is laced with these Photoshop jobs. So all the Google debunkers are quick to downplay any new evidence that comes up, like, nah bro, it's fake, didn't you read that fact check article bro, even if real evidence were to come up. But even if real evidence were to come up, the alleged Smithsonian cover-up can easily just write a bunch of articles that discredit it as a hoax. We all know this isn't the first time governments and tech giants were caught deliberately manipulating data to control the narrative. A lot of the time, the difference between a conspiracy and fact is time. Now, I'm not saying this is 100% one of those cases, but keep that mind open, people.
He had me fooled earlier on those pictures. I can't believe that was Photoshop. That looks so real. Hey, but today, one of my clients, when I was tattooing him, he was a size 18. Size 18 shoes, man, American size. He was 6'7", pretty big boy. Like his forearms was huge. But he looks like a midget compared to these.
Based on the data, there is an intelligence operating on that ranch that has command over space, time, over consciousness, can manipulate closed systems in a split second without leaving a trace, and I believe has the ability to communicate if we can understand or develop a common language at some point to be able to interact. Eric Bard, in particular, has had communication with at least one of these entities. He's definitely seen and documented evidence that we're dealing with an intelligence that does have the desire to communicate. He asked out of frustration. He literally asked verbally, if you have something to show me, show me. If you have something to tell me, tell me. In that instant, the screen morphed and digitally composed letters instantaneously of I living.
You're me. If you know more about that, go ahead and drop a comment down below. Let me know.
What is BlackRock and how do they own everything? So BlackRock is an organization, it's a company publicly listed on NASDAQ that has tens of trillions of dollars of assets under management. They disclose that they have like 14 trillion, but that is only BlackRock. Then they own majority share in most of the companies in America. So what companies? They own Pfizer, they own Moderna, they own all the airlines, they own all the social networks. So when you see all this stuff, all this agenda kind of everybody working together, then you have to realize who actually owns it. This isn't a conspiracy. You go to Yahoo Finance, you go to top holders of all these shareholding companies, and you see BlackRock and Vanguard at the top. So you go to Amazon, for example, you go to Yahoo Finance, you go to Amazon, you go to the ticker of the stock, you go to top holders, and you realize Jeff Bezos ain't the biggest holder of Amazon. As you run these companies and these organizations publicly listed, you need to understand that people with money, they can come in and swoop your shit. But now, which is the crazy part, dude, is BlackRock is starting to get into the Chinese market. So they're starting to branch out their tentacles outside of the North American market. It's quite scary. So, I mean, I think autonomy, sovereignty is kind of the most important thing that people should be focused on, which is how can I make enough to be self-reliant and not have to depend on the system, depend on greedy people that are out here to literally take everything that you're worth with no remorse whatsoever because, hey, it's just business. That's how they see it.
Like he said, if you think it's a conspiracy, Google it, BlackRock. You can read all about it. I know I read something about BlackRock by 2030, plans on buying 60% of America's single homes. And that's a lot. That's a lot. And now they're trying to expand out to China. Shoot, I think when you have all that money, they should be limited to what they can buy, especially in properties. You know, those are investments, but let me get my investment on. You know, I'm a, business owner too, small business owner, and I'm still not where I want to be at in life, but in the future, I plan on getting more properties, more investments going, but it's going to be hard when, you got till 2030, but there's still a little percentage where we can do that. But whenever BlackRock gets a hold of these houses, they're going to bring the value up, and then everything's going to be hard.
The officer has no idea that a head is boiling in the pot on that stove. It's the head of the woman they're looking for, Lisa Guy, and at this point, it's been cooking for over a day. In the bathroom, they find 2 bins of human limbs soaking in a toxic mixture. The man behind this gruesome scene is Joel Guy Jr., and the human remains marinating in the concoction belong to his parents. Officers then come across a notebook detailing Joel's exact plan on how to kill, dismember, and dispose of his parents' bodies. Joel wanted to cash in on his mother's $500,000 life insurance policy, and he killed his dad so he wouldn't have to split it. However, he failed to read the fine print, which clearly says he is not in fact a beneficiary and would have received no money. In other words, he did this whole thing for nothing.
All because you couldn't get your lazy butt up and go get a real job. Go get a job. Bro, you can't be dependent on your parents, man. You're a grown man.
Would you like me to show them how the sign of the curse works?
Sign of the curse?
Completely different.
How does it go?
This is the sign of the horn. A curse sign, the 2 fingers extended. This way, spread apart for sort of shotgun blast, The other one of the pox sign, that's 3 fingers extended.
A pox on you?
A pox on you. During the Middle Ages, this was...
Yeah. Oh, yes.
That symbol that they're all doing, that symbol, he said, was a curse symbol of devils. That's the way they put curses on people. Right? And you've got people at rock concerts, they're all doing it, thinking it's cool. There they are doing these symbols, you see, and this is another symbol.
Seriously, out of all people, the Pope? I already expected that, honestly. On to the next one.
A man is going viral in Brazil after performing some sort of magic trick where loads of money actually appear out of nowhere. A lot of people on the internet are saying that this is actually not a magic trick, that this is more like dark magic or something like that. So I want you to pay very close attention and you tell me what you think is really going on.
Tu não gastou dinheiro todo de ontem, tu ainda tem dinheiro pra beber?
Mister N, né? Fazer o quê? Aqui, gastei.
Gastou
mas
tudo.
Bate aí?
Gastou
gastei,
tudo.
Né? Mas ainda tem papel aqui pra me fazer mais, Vou tentar, né? Você vai fazer isso aqui, ó. E aqui não tem negócio de dedo não, viu, bichinho? Vamos tentar aqui fazer umas notinhas aqui. Tem que fazer honey fluid. Estourando de água linda. Opa, tá começando. fazer muito dinheiro. Ninguém no mundo faz isso. E aqui não tem negócio de corte, não. Aqui tem... é magia. Tá vendo? Tá indo.
Agora a metade é meu, que tu gastou ontem.
Olha, a nota de 100 aí, ó. Tem 3 mil conto aqui. Sai, menino, sai.
A metade é meu.
Valeu, valeu.
I didn't see no cuts in that video, so that had to been real. Damn. Must be nice.
Seeing these scenes, it rips your heart out. Just, they never actually show exploitation of children in the film.
I demanded they didn't. Yeah. So if you make fun, you don't make pedophile material here.
These scenes, it rips your heart out. Just, they never actually show
What are they trying to say? He like in the Illuminati now? I don't believe that. I think just because he's famous, he's a celebrity, they point that out. But if he was just like you and I, it wouldn't mean nothing. So.
Zechariah Sitchin wrote all these books about this culture from another planet called the Anunnaki. See that thing that he's holding up in front of him? That is a piece of Sumerian art. See the star, the sun with all the planets? That is our solar system. It's not just our solar system, that is all the planets in all the right sizes. And this was 6,000 years ago. It also depicted is this elliptical orbit of this planet called Nibiru. This is where the Anunnaki came from. Came down here, they studied some lower hominids. There's these also depictions of these enormous people with these little monkey people sitting in their lap. And this was what he believed was describing the Anunnaki's genetic alterations of monkeys, of taking these lower hominids, introducing their superior advanced DNA into these monkeys, and creating something that's very different. The caduceus, the symbol for medicine, it's also the double helix of DNA, and that's what he believes it represented.
But it also looks like a guy was just like trying to decorate with two snakes,
totally
doing the tango.
But why does it represent medicine, and why does it still represent medicine today?
Thank you guys so much for tapping into my YouTube channel. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you hit the notification button so you can get all our newest, latest content that we drop, all right? We out. Time to go home. Let's not get into that.